Welcome to another episode of the Steal a Moment podcast with me, Michael LeBlanc. Today's guests are Travis and Scott, better known to you guys as Project Vela. We talk about how they've transitioned and changed their brand and what they have coming up for the near future, as well as their interesting cover and how they got there. If you guys want to, you can check out their new cover, Without Me, the Halsey cover. I believe it's the Illenium remix version that they kind of took from and how that's transitioned. We also discuss how COVID has kind of affected our projects. Them being a predominantly online band has really not affected them too much, but they get into more details of what they've done in terms of their focus and how they want to be more focused on the content creation side of things, which I totally understand. If you guys haven't yet, please do me a favor. Please click the subscribe button, the like button, and the bell notification all across the bottom of the screen here. That lets YouTube know that my show is actually interesting, and it gives us a chance to hopefully get a part of that algorithm and bring new people to the channel. We had a nice big kick in numbers last week. We're now up to 63 subs. I'm shooting for 100 by June. So let's keep going on. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell people you don't know on the street to check out the Steal a Moment podcast. Also, as you guys can see, I'm back in the usual spot. So it's always fun to kind of get back into things. I don't have the fancy microphones. I've had to, some things have been kind of shuffling around this week. So it's all good. If you guys haven't yet, please go also subscribe to the Gunpowder Empire YouTube page, dropping today, 5 o'clock. You will get to see Love is on the Way, a Saigon Kick cover that Sean and I did. The song has a great classic 80s feel. And the video that we made for it also has a kind of a classic feel to it. Also finished and ready to come out on St. Patrick's Day, which is next week. We have the lyric video for Evil Within, my first venture into creating lyric videos. So check that out next Wednesday. That will also be out at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. Be on the lookout for more Red Hood Rising podcasts, as I have a couple more in the works here in the near future with a couple of pretty cool guests and other co-hosts, which will be really fun. So looking forward to that as well. With that being said, Project Vela and I would like to steal a moment. Give me all your money. I need it. Okay. Give me back all my money that I've spent on all your products.
All right, ready? All right, I'm gonna count it off again here.
Okay. Are we going? Right. We're going 1, 2, 3, and then clap.
Yep.
Yes. Right. 1, 2, 3, clap.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, you guys, that was horrible.
It's close enough.
Pretty bad.
Okay.
Whatever. What's going on, guys?
Not much.
Oh man. Just getting settled in. I'm about to crack me just a little bit of a White Claw here. My sisters were in town for the Super Bowl and they left.
No laws.
They left some for me to finish off. So
okay. So no laws without the claws. I got you. We actually have a dedicated drawer in our fridge of seltzers. We got some Vizzy in there. We got some White Claw. We got some White Claw 60 cal. I think like the low cal White Claw.
Didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
But I'm gonna stick with my water for right now.
Yeah, that's probably
I'm
smart.
going Pepsi. Even need those need that quick sugar burst for hockey tonight.
Yeah, I have a little bit left over of a Code Red because I'm a neckbeard at heart.
Yeah, but that reminds me of like Halo LAN parties back in the day.
Oh, dude, man, Halo LAN parties. That's where it's at, man. That's what I miss.
For real.
PvP does not have the same vibe as Halo LAN parties did, because at least you knew everybody in your party and you could talk shit to their face.
Yeah,
yeah. It was awesome.
It's the way it was. So I did a quick Google search just because I was kind of like, do these guys have some cool shit on their Google? And I was like, oh man,
do we?
No, I'm just kidding. I found the Project Vela Wikipedia page. I was like, you guys have a Wikipedia page, but it turns out it was actually a defense project. Is that where you guys got your name from?
Yeah, it was like part of the like satellite missions doing what was the name of the satellite mission, the satellite doing like nuclear testing in like I think like 60, 68, 69, you know, late
63 actually.
60s. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and there was kind of a whole conspiracy around it, which when we were kind of going the sci-fi direction when we started, which we're trying not to do anymore. But it was like, yeah, there was like one thing where they detected like a nuclear blast, and then everybody denied it around the world, and so they didn't know if they just chalked it up to malfunction or if somebody actually did light something off and was lying about it. So, yep, we just kind of stole it and used it as our band name because it sounded cool at the time.
That's how some of the best band names are made. I mean, if you think about it, Bring Me the Horizon's name is from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So like, you know, we all get names from cool stuff. I mean, shit, my band name Gunpowder Empire is when the Byzantine army switched, or the Ottoman Empire, excuse me, Byzantine army. Fucking
you play too much Age of Empires.
Yes. When the Ottoman Empire transitioned from like scimitar and horse warfare to cannon and gun warfare using gunpowder. So that's where we got our name from. And Sean always liked it and was like, we should use that as our band name. And I was like, band name's the hardest part. Fuck it. Let's do it. That sounds great.
Yep. I mean, we had like, we had like a whole, I don't know, like a little sci-fi like narrative story, like everything that went along with it when we started. And this was just like the two of us just kind of like dicking around, having fun before we released anything. And we're like, yeah, this would be a fun little thing. And then we kind of got into it. And we're like, oh,
I thought that like 5 people were going to hear our music, like everything we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, you know, it's just kind of, it's something that we never really let come to fruition with anything, you know, the whole sci-fi angle of it. But at that point, like the band name was just is what it is. No sense in trying to change it. And, you know, once things kind of started to catch on, we kind of started to rediscover like what we wanted to be, I guess, and what we were about. And it wasn't about writing a sci-fi story.
Yeah, sometimes that's just how it happens. Like you want to write this cool concept record, you want to kind of build something, and then you realize that kind of takes away from what you're trying to do maybe and direct it in a different direction. So sometimes it's fun to start that way and then see what happens. I mean, I've tried to write concept records and that shit's hard. Especially when you get kind of pigeonholed and try to tell a story and it ends up just not going the direction you want it to. But you mentioned that you thought, Travis, you thought only like 5 people were going to hear this. What happened?
For sure.
What happened? Like, it seems like this project kind of exploded by accident.
Oh, for sure. Total accident. I'm just going to chalk it up to the internet being the internet. Yeah, we released it and nothing happened for like a month, obviously. You know, I promoted it on Facebook. Scott promoted it on Facebook. Like, hey, like we did a thing.
Yeah, like when we say promote, it's just like
what we do.
You put a post up and you're like, we decided to make some songs. If you give a shit, check it out. If you don't, that's fine. Just like everything we've been doing musically for, you know, whatever, 10 plus years before that.
Yep.
And then I think I went up to this my grandparents have property up in Wyoming that we, you know, dick around during the 4th of July. Like ride ATVs and boats and stuff. Remember, I went up there for
bound to do.
Right. So I went up there for like 3 days, you know, had a good 4th of July weekend. And then on my way back, I was like, oh, you know, I don't know. I was just trying to find something on my phone and I just searched Project Vela on Google for no reason. And it was like, oh, hey, look, there's this channel that put you guys up. And they had like maybe 2,000 subscribers to their channel. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then what was it, Scott? Like a week or 2 went by and just more channels just kept adding it and adding it and adding it.
I honestly don't have very much of a recollection of how it happened. Travis can attest to this. My memory is absolute dog shit. Like
awful.
is unreliable, and I can't remember anything. So like it's all kind of a blur. I remember we when there was a couple channels that reached out and wanted to use our music, and in order for them to do so, we had to demonetize it on YouTube. So like so a channel could put it up without worrying about getting copyright strikes or having to like share revenue and stuff. And we're like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't give a shit. Just we'll demonetize it, take it out of the YouTube content ID system, and let you do whatever you want with it. I think that's when I remember it kind of like catching a little bit of fire. Like that first initial boost was from that. Once the YouTube community, I think, gets hold of some of that non-copyrighted stuff, it's just like, if it's even decent, they're like, hell yeah, we can just use that shit for anything. People are always looking for music.
Definitely.
The anime crowd really got a hold of it.
I can attest to that. My podcast uses music from a band here in Denver called Mosaic. And the first thing I did was ask them if it was cool if I used it. And they were like, definitely, any opportunity for us to get something out there. And, we're the same way. If people want to use our music, we generally don't have a problem with it unless it's something completely inappropriate.
Right.
Which, I've seen happen before. The life of Rule 34 does exist, and it's unfortunate, but for those of you who don't know what Rule 34 is anything that exists in this world can be turned into something extremely inappropriate. I'll leave it at that. My girlfriend's mom watches this podcast, so hi, Carrie.
So funny thing about that is, one of the biggest YouTube videos that uses one of our songs, I think it has like over 10 million views at this point.
Good grief.
It's some animated thing about like the what is that called? The forest animals.
Happy Tree Friends.
The forest animals that go through like
it's like a fan
things.
fiction.
Yeah.
It's like fan fiction Happy Tree Friends.
Yeah, and so it's like all about like, little forest animals like being gory and killing themselves and killing other forest animals. And it's very interesting. It's not something that I would personally find offensive as like something like, that's like sexist or racist or something like that
right.
wouldn't fly. But like that is just wild that like something's that's that kind of off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
How that got so much attention. I think that's probably the biggest YouTube video that's got our music on it.
Is it the Don't Feed the Dark?
Yeah.
Okay. I am saving that for when I get done with this. I haven't seen that yet, so that's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
There's like even reaction videos to that video. Not of our song, but they'll like react to it, and like some people are like, hey, what's the music in this? Let me know. Or like,
yeah,
you watch some weird stuff. I don't know how you would react to that video, but
yeah,
it's
always funny to see what people do with things and what kind of brings you some sort of popularity. I mean, that's the other thing, is sometimes it takes something as simple as someone making a Happy Tree Friends video with your music on it and kind of bringing you out to that.
Oh yeah, I'm like super thankful of it, obviously.
Oh yeah,
dude, awesome. Thank you so much for using our song.
Yeah. I don't want that to come off as like, man, I wish it didn't exist with our music, because I think it's hilarious. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's just me. I see how it is maybe not content that's meant for everybody though.
Oh yeah, totally. But sometimes that's what it takes. Like I can attest to hoping that something we do is good enough to even remotely touch that vein of things. As Travis knows, I've played with Travis here in the last like 2-3 years, and
it's already been 2 years. Can you believe it?
Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's weird because like you make things, you do work, you want to put things together, and you hope that something hits like that. So we all know the feeling. We all know the feeling as creatives. What have you guys been doing with this weird quarantine pandemic type lifetime that we have right now in 2020 and 2021? Have you used it to be more productive? Have you used it to try and create some new stuff? What's been on the books for Project Vela through this wonderful time period?
Well, we were already set up for this, Scott.
We kind of
We were
were.
literally made for the pandemic.
Yes,
Yeah.
you were.
Yeah, we've never played a live show. It's something that we were like discussing and trying to kind of start introducing into our goals and plans, but that didn't get very far before the pandemic hit, so we kind of forgot about that. Yeah, and we work pretty much almost exclusively remotely. We usually get together for a studio session or two for each project, like each album or each EP or each single, whatever we're doing. But yeah, we're just an internet band that doesn't play live shows and works remotely. So
We've
our
always
process
been like
didn't
that.
change a ton because of the pandemic. It might have slowed things down a little bit, but
Yeah, exactly. What can you do, right? And that's the crazy thing is, like, we had big plans for 2020, like 2 new singles coming out, had a ton of stuff ready to go. Like, we had all these plans, and then all this happened, and it led to trying to make the best of it and really develop new skills and new techniques. So I'm working on video editing, which, Travis, you're way better at it than I am. And
I'm mad.
I'm a rookie, so like I even went to school for it and still am not the best at it, but I'm getting there. The Photoshop looks better, the working on the thumbnails for the episodes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say your thumbnails are starting to get better, dude. I think that might be a little bit of the problem. I was gonna talk to you about that. Be like, gotta post Scott's face on it. No,
yeah, it was. I was literally just going to take this triangle that I have here and then just put that as the thumbnail. And everyone would be like, oh, I don't know. These 3 good looking fellas here.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, you're getting your content out there, and that's more than I can say. I'm an aspiring content creator, and so is Scott, but we're all just
how long
aspiring.
have we just been? We've it seems like that's just been a perpetual state for us, is like, oh, we need to start making just some small pieces of content on a regular basis, and we just never get the ball rolling with that. Never have.
I'll tell you,
So
that's one thing that Gunpowder's done better in this time frame. Like, not a whole lot, not a ton, but we've gotten stuff out. I mean, to give you a basis, this podcast was 4 years in the making before I even started doing it. Because, in all honesty, and I've said this in like 3 or 4 episodes, I didn't think anybody really gave a shit what I had to say until I realized it doesn't matter if anybody cares what I have to say. I get to put out content every week and enjoy it. And that's the most important thing. Like, it's dragged a little bit. And as Travis can attest through some of the posts I've made about the show and trying to, engage people and interact with it more. It's I went from like getting 3 to 5 to 7 new subscribers every week to 1 every episode, which is kind of, difficult to watch. But at the same time, like, I'm still seeing a little bit of growth. I'm still producing what I consider good content. On the other side, for Gunpowder, like, we're releasing a cover every other month at this point right now to kind of fill the space. Until we can start releasing new material. As of the recording of this, which is February 10th, we have Evil Within coming out on Friday. You guys also have a cover coming out on Friday, right?
We do.
Yeah.
This will be airing way after the 12th. So what is it? Unless you don't want to tell me. And I
yeah. What is the cover?
Yeah.
So that started as Travis had started an instrumental. How long ago did you start that, would you say?
It was like right at the beginning of quarantine, I think. No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was like January. It was January. So
it's been about a year and a month.
Yeah, I think so. We were just coming off Canopsia, and we'd already taken a break for a while, and as usual, we don't do anything after we finish stuff. So we were I was like, okay, let's get back in the songwriting kick. And yeah, I wanted to do an instrumental of Halsey, Without Me.
Okay.
But I did, it's been covered to death already, and I knew it at the time too. I was like, "There's no way we're getting this out."
Yeah, like even by the time you started it, it had already been out for a year, and like
Yeah.
that was like
way
the
too
go-to
late.
cover for like all the rock and metal and alternative bands. Like everyone did a Halsey cover, especially without me. Like everyone was doing it.
Yeah. And so I heard a really sick remix by Illenium, Denver's own.
Mhm.
He does a lot of future-based stuff. He's a really big DJ producer.
He did a killer track with I Prevail, which was
Yes,
dope.
he did. Yep.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh man, this is cool. I wonder how he did that. And it was also kind of around the same time that I Prevail one he did came out.
Right.
And I was like, this is kind of a cool, kind of rock and future bass EDM. We're kind of already in that realm. So I just kind of just mess around doing instrumentals like I normally do. And then I sent it to Scott. He said, ooh, I kind of like that. And so we just kind of used it as just kind of like a roadmap, would you say, Scott? Just kind of getting us back in the groove of
Like
things.
it was just kind of like it's like almost like a little like a sounding board type of thing, like that we would just kind of throw ideas at, like things that we wanted to explore. Like Travis was getting super into the Illenium style of production, so like he was trying to do figure a lot of that out, and then it just gave us an opportunity of like kind of a blank canvas on which to try different styles of things that we maybe wanted to implement in the things that we were going to end up writing. And that's just kind of where it ended up. We ended up, I don't know, maybe in like, would you say like June or July probably was something that was like a pretty much a finished song. We're like, there's some really cool parts of this that are definitely reflected in the EP that's going to be coming out this year. Then it just got to the point where we had this finished song that's just been sitting on a hard drive for months on end, and we're like, well, fuck it. Sounds kind of cool. It's Illenium inspired, so it's not like a direct copy of the Halsey covers. So we thought maybe it had a little bit of a different spin to offer. And then it was also kind of a reflection of what we're planning on doing for the EP. So we're like, let's put it out, kind of see the reception, and kind of use it to hone in on what we're doing.
And also, we suck at content so bad, we were almost forced to release this.
Yeah,
Because
just
otherwise,
need something.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes that's how it is. Yeah, and that's just how it is sometimes. Like we went back into the annals of our history. For those of you who do know, Travis, Sean and I have been in bands together. Sean Peck and I have been in bands together for
Wild Angel
20 fucking years. Yeah. And so like growing up together, we used to, in between lineup changes for Wild Angels and all the bands that we were in back then, we would do acoustic shows. So we decided to just start busting out acoustic covers and putting them on YouTube. And one day Sean's girlfriend was like, wow, who is this? This song sounds like Michael's singing it. And it was Fix Me by 10 Years. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's do it. So we threw that one up. And then we just did a release Crossfade. We did Cold by Crossfade, which was like the banger of 2000.
Yeah, Sean actually gets in on that. Sean gets in on it. He does the backups.
Sean does all the backups. Yeah. He does all the backups on it. And it's funny because, dude, I'm not gonna lie. And Sean, if you ever see this, it's fucking true. So don't lie to people. Sean used to suck at singing. He was a terrible singer. But he worked really hard at it and kind of got back. You're not terrible, Travis.
Oh, I'm bad, dude. It's bad.
You have gotten a lot better though. I think it's a similar thing because Travis has worked on it, and I remember, dude, you couldn't carry a fucking tune in a bucket for
dude.
You could like for nothing. You would try to sing ideas to me, like some vocal ideas, and I'd be like, hey, with as much like kindness as possible, I have no idea what you're trying to tell me to do here, dude. You have to get him to like play it on a piano. I mean, it was a mess, dude.
Okay, so here's a little Vela lore for you.
Yes. Okay.
So, when we were doing Disconnected, it was originally going to be a 4-song EP, and like we had them, and I had an instrumental thing in the back, just on my hard drive, and so we finished the 4. And then I was like, I don't know, the 4 seems weird. I was like, Scott, do you remember that 5th one that I sent you like a while back? It was just an instrumental. I was like, let's just throw that on there. He's like, well, dude, I don't even have like a melody or anything. I was like, don't worry, I got this. And I sent him like my idea of like the vocal thing. It was fucking horrible, dude. It was so bad. And then I don't know, but he came up with the verse of Everything You Hate. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
history for you.
I mean, eventually we get to the heart of the idea that you're trying to get down. We get there, but now it's to the point like he can send me voice memos now. Like he can sing in a voice memo and get the idea across. Like he's getting better.
Did you not hear that screaming idea I just sent
I
you?
did,
the other day?
but was it not enough to get it right?
It was.
That's what's
but
important.
I almost never hit send.
It was
Oh
good
my
enough.
God.
It was perfect.
That's how it works though. Like, man, Sean and I honestly admit it's hard to write drums for us as well. That's why we have a drummer. That's why we don't program drums, because
Well,
it's just
thank God Scott's a drummer. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm sure that helps, dude. It makes a difference, right? Because
Huge.
we've tried to program drums, and our drummer will come in and just be like, "What are you guys doing? Like, this is not even close to what a human can play, and B, like it doesn't even fit what could really be perfect for this song." And he'll come in and change it, and we're like, "Oh wow, it's amazing what a drummer can do." Like,
Oh yeah, that's why I
just-
make Tyler write. I sit him down and make him program the midis for all the Averse stuff.
oh, I can imagine.
Scott would just rather record it, which I'm like, fine, because otherwise you're getting the same. I call it the Travis beat.
Yeah.
And it's it's on every single demo, on every chorus. It's the exact same thing every time.
Yeah, and you can actually probably hear it in some of our songs, because there's a couple out there that like I didn't really change it that much. I was just like, yeah, we'll just more or less leave it in there as it is.
That's fantastic. And sometimes that's just how it is. Like an idea will come across. The other thing too, I will say this as a bass player, it's really hard to have a guitarist write a bass line when they attempt to try and play it like a guitar player would play a bass line, because there really is a difference. And you guys can probably attest to this as musicians.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a bassist playing a bass line and a guitar player playing a bass line. I was a part of a project, I won't name names, where essentially all the guitar parts were written, like bass parts were written by a guitar player. And I went in to record bass tracks and was essentially told I couldn't do it because I was playing it wrong. And it was like, no, I'm playing it like a bass player should play these bass parts, because they're way too complex to be a bass part. Like I don't rail on bassists who are really, really talented and like can play insane licks and stuff, but I feel like a bass's job is not to be the lead ever, unless you are a front bassist, which doesn't really fucking exist.
Right.
But like I don't know, I just it felt like one of those things where like I was essentially being told I didn't know how to do the one thing I've been doing since I was 12, and it was really awkward.
I don't know, you killed it for us, so I don't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, but see, that's the other thing is I play different than like Trevor plays. So
that is very true.
So there's a dichotomy there, but the difference is Trevor is a phenomenal bass player, but he still plays a bass like a bassist. He doesn't try to do like really intense like guitar sweep type shit in match every single note of the guitar in a really complex song.
Yeah, no, I think he would rather. So for people that don't know, Trevor is the bassist in my other project, Averse to the End. He's been with us for
Ever
12 years now. Yeah, going on forever. And yeah, dude, this is sick. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll show him something, be like, dude, here's this part I wrote. Here are the notes. And he'll just look at me and be like, I'm not going to play a single note that you're playing. So.
And Scott, you can attest to this too, probably as a drummer, like having a guitar player try to explain a drum part to you. He's like, I want you to do like this thing where it's like you hit the snare and then the hi-hat and then the snare and then the hi-hat and then the kick, bass kick, and then like tom tom snare, crash crash crash.
Yeah, I think it's all about trying to become like a translator. Like, 'cause clearly, if someone doesn't play the instrument they're trying to explain about, like, they're not going to explain it right. So you just got to be like, okay, dive past the actual words that they're saying and try to figure out what they're trying to say, and then just do that. I feel like at least for drums, I've gotten pretty okay at that. I've played a lot of drums with a lot of different people. I think that's a skill that anyone in a band should try to develop. Try to get your language down so you can explain things to other people, but also just know you can't necessarily take everything at face value that people are telling you. Try to get the feel and the vibe down rather than trying to take things literally and, fuck everything up.
Yeah, and learn a language that you all know. That's one thing I can definitely say has helped with communication in drums for me, is talking in like boom cats and working with rhythms and trying to, like, instead of telling you which tom or drum to hit, kind of mimicking or sort of finding that language that you can share with your fellow musicians. And that's something that I think is just as important. It's another form of communication, which I think is vital to any project.
Yeah, and I think like if you're like something I've done is have like guitar players, if they play the drum part just like with their guitar, like if they're picking it like with a muted guitar and they just do rhythms, like if you have them do that, it's usually pretty easy to feel like where the downbeats are, where the backbeats are, where they want fills and where they want like syncopation and what those rhythms are supposed to be. And then you can kind of fill in all the in-betweens in your head, and that's usually a lot easier for them to explain, and it gets the idea a lot more clearly out there for you. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would have never even thought about that, just because you need to plug a bass in to be able to hear anything. So I don't ever really. It's funny because I have an acoustic guitar just hiding behind me.
I see it.
Yeah. That thing is very old. Our apartment, we just got a space heater in our apartment because our heat is off. At the time of this recording, there is an Arctic front that is sitting on top of Colorado right now, and it's like -5.
Yeah, I think right now it's 16 degrees in Arvada, so it is 18 degrees.
Okay, it's 28 here, but it's gonna be in the
it's coming
teens.
your way, dude. I'm west of you. It's blowing right over
yeah. By Saturday it should be 21. By Sunday it should be 10. So great. Yeah, not looking forward to that at all. But yeah, so we're rocking a space heater and like just trying to stay warm in here. I actually took all the blankets that I've been in all day off so I could do this interview with you guys, so I don't look like a homeless man with the beard and the Blue Jays hat, and but but yeah, that guitar was my brother's, so it's a nice memento, but I need to replace it bad. It doesn't hold a tune. I'm afraid to take the strings off because I'm afraid the neck's just gonna fall off. So it's more of an art piece than an actual playable instrument at the moment.
Man, the acoustic. So I've got an acoustic guitar that is the exact same age as I am. It was purchased in 1988, the year I was born, and it belonged to my dad. And for my 16th birthday, he like got it. Like he got like the tuners replaced, got a new nut, got a new bridge, and got a little pickup installed in it, and like gave it to me for my 16th birthday. But that's the acoustic I still like play on, the acoustic I still ride on, and it probably in about the same kind of shape before it got fixed up for my birthday. Like it was real tough to play. It was scary to pick up. You thought something was gonna fall apart or fall off. But yeah, man, maybe think about getting it like worked on, because it's just like the longer I go with it, the crazier it gets to like it's from 1988 and I still play it and I still record with it and I still write with it. Like it's a crazy thing.
I think that one's from like 2000 maybe. Because so my brother, for those of you who don't know, my brother passed away 11 years ago, January. He gave me the guitar 6 months before he passed away. And the entire 2 of the tracks on the acoustic record that Gunpowder released were actually originally written on this amazing guitar. So there's that. But it's funny because like I want to upgrade so I can get a pickup in it and have an acoustic electric ready and everything. But I'm afraid if I put anything in that, it's just gonna crumble. Like the neck's starting to peel off from the body, and like it's in such rough shape. Like I'm afraid to even get it worked on, to the point where they'd just be like, well, we can scrap it for you. I'm like, no.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no. So when I actually have like a place where I can display all my guitars, it's going to be a display guitar and have that work out.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
Travis, I see you look over at your little display,
Yeah,
which
well,
is just off to the left there.
Yeah, I just hung all that. I think it was like right before the last time you came over for your video,
Yeah.
because I was like, yeah, my kid is gonna destroy my guitars if I don't hang them on the wall. So
That's very true.
I had to finally
yeah.
force me into putting them up there.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that the video Through Bloodshot Eyes was actually shot by Travis. So thank you for that, by the way. It's gotten pretty good reception. The song has been received really well, so we're really happy about that. We're hoping Evil Within gets the same kind of treatment. Unfortunately, we are going in a different direction with the video. Travis, don't kill me.
Oh no, you're fine. I don't.
We're gonna.
I'm like, I do it as like a hobby / help my friends stuff with it.
Yeah. We're going with
really
digital.
serious.
We're going with Digital Mile for the next one. So
that's who I kind of wanted to get a quote from. I was talking to Scott Yule about Kyle, and I even brought up this. Yep, I even brought up to Spriggs that we should hit up Kyle for one of the Vela videos upcoming.
Yeah, it's worth every penny. Guy's got a really good crew. Does amazing work. He's worked in every fucking genre. He's worked with every. I swear to God, he's worked with every artist that I love and respect in the entire city of Denver. So there's that. It's always fun to like work in, and I think this is important too, Scott. Unfortunately, I don't know how much you are connected to the Denver music scene, but I feel like we are one big happy awkward family that just talks shit to each other all the time on Facebook.
He left right when it was getting good.
Yeah. So unfortunately, like anymore, I don't feel super connected anymore. I was there, and that's how me and Travis met, is we played shows, a bunch of shows together through Voodoo. Yeah, Voodoo Productions.
Oh my God, Voodoo.
Back in the day.
Don't even.
So yeah, but I moved in 2013, and I've just kind of slowly drifted out of the know of the Denver scene since then, which is unfortunate because I had so much fun. I had so much fun playing in Denver, man.
Now, forgive me because I'm an asshole for this, Scott, but what bands were you in Denver?
Oh, no need to be forgiven because you never heard of it.
Denver. They were the best band in Denver.
I know Travis was one of our like 4 fans. It was great.
Dude, I was totally a fangirl.
And then Nick, who was at the time drumming for Averse.
Oh, okay.
Big fans. We were called Nick. Borderline Approved.
Okay, nice.
Just 3 of us had a handful of originals, a handful of covers, and played the same like 5 bars over and over again.
As a Voodoo, man, because Voodoo had the same 5 bars over and over again. So
yeah, there's actually that band. Another little bit of Vela trivia. There's a YouTube video somewhere out there of the first iteration of Never Let Her Go.
Oh, I know where it's at. I watch it all the time.
You better send that shit to me after this.
Yeah, so that just recently passed 1 million streams on Spotify, the Vela version. And there's a version that's done live. We were playing at the Gothic, I think. Yep. Was there where that one was, and it's pretty different, I think, from what, if anyone knows that song, like what they'd be used to, that old Borderline Approved live version.
The chorus is kind of the same.
Chorus stuck around more, for the most part.
And then it's funny because you can hear Nick in the background, who was the drummer of my band at the time, and he was like, dude, I love that riff. Or what does he say? He says something. He's like, dude, that riff's sick.
Yeah. Now that's funny. So speaking of band lore, so in I think January of 2019, maybe a little bit later than that, Gunpowder released The Running, which is a song that has literally been in every single iteration of every band that Sean and I have been together in since the
wow.
beginning of time.
I think you
Um,
hit me up to do a music video about that, and I was like super busy and never got back to you. So I apologize.
Yeah, so we shot a quarantine video of it with all 4 of us at the time. Now 3 of us.
Okay.
And the person who was going to put it together never put it together. So I have it. I have all the footage. I just need to put it together and do it eventually.
So there you go. There's how you test to get your video making
Yeah.
skills up.
I'm thinking about doing and Sean hasn't heard this yet, so this is probably going to be cut out of the podcast, but I'm thinking about doing a lyric video for Evil Within. And trying to make one and see how I can do it on my own terms and try to like play with After Effects and shit with that.
That's what I just started doing. I made like the last like 6 or 7 of our lyric videos. I've never been into video production at all before.
With my template.
yeah, I used the template, but then I made the one for Without Me, and I did that one all on my own.
Oh, there you go.
Did you use After Effects?
I use DaVinci Resolve just because it's free, and I'm not going to pay Adobe for more shit.
Yeah,
I use After Effects.
Yeah, I have the cloud, so I got a suggestion for next Black Friday. They have amazing Black Friday deals. It's a full year for like $39.99 a month. Yeah,
that's what because I already own like CS6. So I still have like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, like because I used to do graphic work for FedEx Office when I worked there. And so I know I have those programs and I own them outright, and I've just been dragging my feet with upgrading to the subscription model. Like when I do that, I'll probably go into After Effects and mess with that. But for the time being, I'm like I don't want another subscription on my hands. I've already got at least a dozen.
Yeah, man. I just use Premiere. I got the subscription to that one, and I'm actually pretty happy with it because I do have After Effects CS6 that I've outright owned for years now. But honestly, they incorporated a lot of After Effects into Premiere CC.
Yeah, the only thing
much of it.
Yeah, the only thing that I use After Effects for is if I have to create brand new lower thirds or develop like different animated functionality. But yeah, a lot of the basic functionality that I would need for developing a lyric video is in Premiere. And this has been your Adobe Nerd Corner, brought to you by nobody, because I have no sponsors on the video version of this podcast.
But if Adobe would like to.
Yeah, but if Adobe would like to, please send all your inquiries to stealamomentpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you. If you guys have made it this far into the video, please put Marvel in the comment section. That's right, Marvel. This is my girlfriend's, so I live here now with my girlfriend in downtown Denver. This was the first thing I saw
when penthouse down there. I was like, dang, dude.
Yeah, we live on the 9th floor in the center of downtown. So
right downtown.
Yeah, like right in the heart of downtown.
Right
all the shots from the Through Bloodshot Eyes video are literally like within blocks of our apartment. So
I recognize some of those.
Yeah.
It's like right on 16th Street, dude. It's like right there.
It's pretty legit. Like Sam's is across the street. It's dope. So
he was like, "Oh yeah, I live downtown now," and I was like, "Okay." So I put the address in. I'm like, "Okay, it's gotta be like Downing or somewhere like
no, I'm
a little bit east.
I'm downtown."
Right, yeah, like the clock tower's like right there.
It's funny because like living down here, it's been interesting to say the least. After living in the suburbs for the last 20 years, it's just been strange. But Sky, you're in Kansas now, right?
Yep, that's I'm right in the middle of Wichita. It's not as small as people think when you hear that someone lives in Kansas. Wichita, we're creeping up on 500,000 people. So it's not, it's not tiny, but it's not it's not a big city either. But this is where I grew up most of my life. Went to school, graduated high school here. And then I kind of moved around. I lived in Utah for quite a while, then Colorado for quite a while, and then an opportunity opened up for me to pursue some more stuff in music here while my life in Colorado was it felt like it was slowly crumbling apart while I was there. Like everything that I felt had solidified me to my new home in Colorado was just kind of like slowly just like dissolving like piece by piece. It just felt like the right time to change again. I've always been like that. Up until this most recent move, I've never really stuck around for too long in the same spot. but I moved back here, started working in music full time. Met my girlfriend I've been with for over 7 years now, and we have a house and a dog and the whole shebang.
It's the way it
So,
should be. I mean,
yeah.
if you're happy, that's the most important part. That's kind of where we need to be right now in life, is just being happy. I am stoked. Like I said, I met my girlfriend a year ago, like right before the pandemic hit, and we made the decision to essentially move in together in March when everything shut down and we were both working from home. And
Wait,
it was
so as
either,
in like a few months after you met?
yeah,
Yeah.
like a week before our 2-month anniversary, it was like, well, it's time to put up or shut up and see if this works. And the great thing is she's been super supportive of all my creative endeavors, and it's really nice to have that as a backbone. Travis, I'm sure you can attest to that as well, having somebody who's supportive of your creative endeavors.
Oh yeah,
as
it's
well.
hard for
Yeah.
I'm always doing crap, dude. She's just like, when is it gonna stop? I'm like, never. It will never stop. There will be.
This is life now.
It's always something with a verse, or it's now I gotta go, gotta do something with Vela, or I gotta go out to Kansas, or come back, and now I'm doing like, video. I have to shoot Mikey's video.
Sorry, Mariah. God.
But, she's a trooper.
No, she's a trooper. She's awesome.
It's fun. So Scott, you have dogs,
but
you have dogs, but no kids, right?
Right. Kids are not on our bucket list.
Yeah, because I think every member except Trevor has a child now in a verse. So that's weird. You're now a dad rock band by default.
Dude, no, we are. We gotta hang it up. Like, something's gotta change. We're going on like 10 or 11 years. And like, we're all dads now, and it's we're like, okay, the road has got to go somewhere. Where is it going? But
I've got gray in my beard now, and I haven't released a multi-million record yet, so I don't have a platinum or gold record to my name, so maybe it's time to hang them up. I don't know.
Yeah. So I like, Vela, we're like I said, kind of an internet project. We haven't really done a lot of live stuff, but I feel like there's more fresh ideas in Vela, especially because it's like we don't just get around, or have a practice like once a week where you kind of just mess around and just accomplish nothing. It always seems like when we do something, it's like we're making a little bit of headway every time we do something.
Exactly. We're kind of in the same situation in GPE right now, just because we don't really have a practice space. I mean, I live in an apartment. Sean lives in an apartment. Alex has his own situation right now. So like,
oh yeah, did Rocket Space and all that stuff, did they have to shut down because of the pandemic? Or
they're open, we just don't have the money right now to do that, between trying to save up to record some new stuff and also working on trying to figure out spaces. Like we want to kind of create a space where we can just create, like if we need to just drop everything and go somewhere to create. So that's kind of on the books for us in the next few months or year. Like,
have you guys looked into Pro Tools Cloud?
We actually use, so Sean has been doing all of our pre-pro using he uses Logic, and then I do everything through Adobe. And then I just upgraded my Scarlett, my Focusrite, because I found out one of my channels didn't work. So the Sweetwater, shout out to Sweetwater, the best fucking company ever for music acquisition stuff. Scott, you use them too?
Yeah, for quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, they're incredible. Shout out to Mike Peacott for hooking me up. He's my rep here in Denver. But the Scarlett, I got the Gen 3 2i2 with a full pack that came with a condenser mic, another XLR cable, this beautiful red one you guys get to see. And then it came with free
Studio One
plugins. It comes with Pro Tools One. It comes with essentially the Avid package, and comes with a full MIDI keyboard system, drum system, plugins, as well as I think a Logic programmer as well, if I'm not mistaken. It came with a bunch of free software, and then on top of that, like bought a new boom stand so I didn't have to look like I was talking to my wiener during every interview. But it's nice because like it gave me an opportunity to look at different audio recording systems, because I'm pro at Adobe Audition because that's what I used for all of my audio recording when I was at media school, and that's what I'm most comfortable with. But I'm learning other software, so that's, I think, what was more important in getting those other options.
Scott, tell the world a little bit about Pro Tools Cloud Collab and the pros and many cons.
I would say a good word to describe it is idiosyncratic. It works.
Great word.
It works super, super well when it works. I got Travis mostly transitioned. I know he's still composes in FL and Ableton.
Yeah.
But then when we start stuff, we just start a cloud session, and it usually works pretty seamlessly. We have mostly the same plugins, same software, so we can, both work in the same session and get tracks and changes, things uploaded and downloaded, to each other while we're both in the session, just like sitting there working on stuff. Like he can record a guitar track, he'll upload it to me, and I can like edit it and tell him, what to re-record and things like that. It's got some quirks.
Yeah, we do vocal melodies like that too. Like Scott will just be sitting there recording a vocal idea, hits upload, comes to me in like 2 seconds. I listen to it. I'm like, hold on, throw Melodyne on it, move some notes around, send it back to him. He kind of hears it, goes, okay, let me try it again. Boom. And then he just lays it down.
Right. And we had the Pro Tools first with the cloud share, but the problem is it deleted all of our shit. Like it locked Sean out of the program. And then when he finally got the password and went back in, it was all gone. Like,
dude, I'm sure we could make a lot of money off of a channel dedicated to just cloud collab stuff from Pro Tools.
Yeah.
One, we probably could, because
I'll host that shit.
Crazy.
Let's do it.
But we've also spent a lot of time like emailing back and forth with Avid support because of shit that just simply didn't work like it was supposed to.
Oh yeah.
It deleted all your project or locked you out of all the projects.
It's no, nobody's fault. It's not user error. It's a new concept that they've been working on and trying to work out bugs, and it seems like it's getting better and better, each time we use it. But it's still a new concept, and I really think it's the best way to work remotely so far.
Oh, for sure. Hands down.
Like we've done it all, printing multi-tracks and stems and emailing and working out a Dropbox and all sorts of stuff, but this is by far the easiest and cleanest way to do things.
Yeah, we do everything where essentially Sean will send the track as a wave to me. I will then take the wave, listen to it, figure out where I want to do with it, put my part in, rebounce the track, send it back. Or when we can get together, we just track everything at Sean's. Mainly we just do pre-pro since we don't do all of the independent engineering ourselves.
Yeah.
We go to Taylor Hahn at Hahn Audio, and he does all of our stuff. And then Ted Jensen is the guy who does all of our mastering over at Sterling Audio.
Oh, that's dope.
So yeah. So we spend the money on the shit we can't do. so we do the pre-pro as best we can so that we spend as little time in the studio as possible. And then it's also good for us anyway to have that extra ear, like a Taylor who knows our sound well enough to know, like, hey, let's try and play with this rhythm here, and let's play with this part here and see what this sounds like. Some of the best parts through Bloodshot Eyes was because of working with Taylor. So I definitely think having that extra ear on it and giving that an opportunity is great. We're actually going to be tracking with Van at Be Enormous.
Yeah, dude, spread it out.
Nice.
Van's been doing some good stuff.
Yeah, dude. So we're heading there in March. We're actually, Travis, if you remember the Wild Angels days, we're taking a cover we used to do in the Wild Angels days and bring it into the Gunpowder Empire theory. And it, like, Sean and I have some ideas of how we want to kind of make it a little bit more into that modern vibe. I want to tell you guys. I'll give you a hint. The band that did this song was a better version of Nickelback.
You're doing a Theory of a
Theory
Dead
of a Dead
song.
Man.
Yes. And
Is it?
so,
wait, what album is it from?
I think it's from Gasoline.
Okay, that's the only
give me a
album
second.
I ever liked from them.
Give me a second.
That's
Hold on.
good.
I'm gonna look real quick and make sure that that's right. Because I'm almost positive that
I'm gonna
it's
grab a beverage.
okay. No, it's from Scars and Souvenirs.
I don't know if I'll know it then. Dang it.
It was so it's funny. So while Travis is gone, I can tell you this. We did this as a cover back in the day, and it was like our number one cover. People thought it was our song. So people were always like, "Oh man, that song rips! It's so good. When did you write it?" And we're like, "Well, some awesome Canadian band actually wrote it. We just kind of made it our own version." And we played it pretty close to the original type, but like we added our own little vibe to it and added some like double kick and a little bit more aggressive bass and guitar. But this time we kind of want to make it even like take it even a little bit further and see what we can do with it. But with the opportunity to do it with Van, like we wanted a chance to really do it with Van and see what this would sound like with him. And Davey, shout out to Davey B, also fan and friend of the podcast, kind of suggested we check out Van, and we wanted to give him a shot and see what he had. And so we figured what a better way than to throw down some covers and work with him and get a chance to see what Benormous has in store for us as well. So and we're going back to Taylor in I think June or July to record 2 brand new Gunpowder originals. So we just started working on one, and it's coming together nicely. It's gonna be really sick. I'm stoked.
That's
what are you
awesome.
guys what are you guys listening to right now? What are you jamming?
Oh man. So a band that Travis turned me on to a while back has put out a couple new singles in the last, I don't know, few months. Siamese.
Okay.
Yep.
I think they're from Germany, I want to say.
Yes, they're
not
sort of normal.
Yeah, they're not like a
there.
huge band, but they're, they should be a lot bigger than they are.
Yeah, they're sick.
Dude, their 2 newest singles especially, I'm like,
Siamese is sweet.
Pretty obsessed with them.
What else?
What are you jamming, Travis?
You know what I'm jamming. A lot of high school screamo emo.
They're Danish. They're a Danish rock band.
Danish, yeah. I knew
Danish,
they were like
okay.
They were originally called Siamese Fighting Fish. That's a cool name. I dig it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a Danish rock band. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, but they sing in English. It's cool.
Sounds like American.
Oh, totally.
Music. You can't tell they're Danish, but dude, they're so good. So good.
I'll have to check them out. What were you listening to, Travis? I'm sorry, you said whiny emo kid rock.
Yeah, I was like, I got my high school screamo emo playlists.
Dude, how many times have we talked? I swear I've told you so many times that if I ever get back out there, which I still want to move back out there,
dude, we are
that's
making
the cover band we're making.
Early 2000s emo pop band.
Emo punk pop screamo cover band.
I will come and play bass and do vocals for you guys.
Hell yeah.
I will do it. I'm in. Count me in.
Because Mike knows, dude. Like we did the Fallout Boy cover. Everybody went H.
Oh yeah, I did see that. That was great.
Mike sing it.
That was me on vocals. Am I more than
dude? Yeah, dude. Do some like Dear Maria, Count Me In.
Oh yeah.
MCR.
I'm so down.
Taking Back Sunday.
I know. I told Scott
shit.
we could be, because 90% 90s, Scott Yule and formerly Davey B. They'd make, killing doing that stuff, especially pre-pandemic.
It's because Tony Hamilton's the sexiest man alive, and we all know it, and he just won't admit it. He's the most fit Filipino we all know.
All right. Yeah, he can sing everything. So they do all 80s and 90s, most obviously 90% of the 90s.
It's pretty sweet. They do some good shit.
But I was like, we got to be that early 2000s stuff, man. It's going to be coming around like a freight train here.
And I don't want to be in a tribute band. That's the thing. Like, I love tribute bands. There's some really good ones in Denver, but like, I think that's the niche that's missing right now is like that early 2000s emo vibe. It needs a
It is,
cover band.
especially like because I think that vibe is kind of like coming around to the younger generation now too. Like it's it's kind of like coming back like on TikTok and stuff. Like people are
Yep.
kind of like rediscovering those things, and then at the same time, the generation that kind of like grew up with that is the ones that they have like the real jobs. They have money. They're throwing parties. They're getting married. They're doing, like they're doing all these adult things where they need it to entertainment, and that kind of nostalgia trip would just be so fucking fun.
The amount of
are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the amount of TikToks I've seen where I'm just like scrolling through and I'll stop when I hear, "Shh, I got your picture.
Yeah.
I'm coming with you. Dear
Oh, yeah.
Maria, count me in." I'm like,
It was never
let's
a
do this.
phase, Mom.
It was never a phase.
It was never a phase.
How many times in the mirror have you like, after taking a shower, you just put the emo over on just for a minute? Just for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I just did that like last night.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. So I'm gonna shift gears. After I tell you what I've been listening to. I've been rocking that new Era. Era has released a bunch of new singles for their
Dude,
new
I
record
haven't
that comes
added
out
that yet. That just reminded me. I'm putting it in my iTunes right now.
Scorpion Hymn is kind of like the old vibe that they had for the first couple records, but like Divisionary, that song slaps hard. Jesse and JT's singing on this record now. So like there's some really sick vocal things they do, especially in Divisionary. So I'm really excited for that. I think the new Architects drops Friday.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
another one I've been listening to. Did you
Oh,
get
great.
We
have
just dropped
to
a new
compete
song.
Yeah.
That was,
Architects.
yeah, they just dropped a new song a couple of days ago.
And then I actually just posted today. For those of you who are watching, I'm going to try and put it right here. I got to figure out the time mark on this. Glass Tides is releasing. They're almost like an emo-ish band from Australia. Yeah,
Yep,
I just did
checked them out 'cause
just
you
did
the thing.
Yeah, an interview with their vocalist Paul Baker that dropped today as of the recording of this. But that EP drops tomorrow here in the US. It's already the 11th in Australia, so good for you guys.
10 o'clock Mountain.
Yeah, so that EP drops tonight, which will be awesome. I'm really looking forward to hearing that. They're a fantastic band. And it's just fun to like listen to other stuff. My girlfriend's huge into OAR and Millennium, so I've been listening to a lot of that lately.
My boy.
Yeah, it's legit. It's awesome to get into the vibes.
Dude, I don't think I've heard of OAR since like probably like 2004 or 2005. I didn't know are they like still making music?
I think, I'm sorry, not OAR. That's my bad. I got nostalgic for a minute. OTR. I wish OAR was back.
I was like, oh my god, OAR is back.
Was it the General? Was that OAR? No, that was
a crazy game of poker.
Yeah,
did you know that
was
one?
a crazy game of poker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
No, you mean
OAR.
you mean OTR, like
OTR, yeah,
like Heart, like that song.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that exactly who that is. And then a lot of that style of music, because that's kind of what she jams.
So she likes super bass or future bass, not super bass.
Future bass. Yeah.
Yep. That's
Definitely.
Well, perfect. It leads right into our what we've been trying to accomplish here.
I will bring her to Vela, don't you worry. But I want to shift gears really quick, because we're at the hour mark, and we haven't even gotten into the fun stuff yet.
Oh man.
Did you guys probably watch the Super Bowl? Yeah. I personally thought the Weeknd's performance was pretty legit. I thought it was good. But I also follow the Weeknd and I like his music, and I think it was cool. But a lot of people have been making fun of it. I was like, why?
I don't see like I'm totally with you. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great performance. I thought it was interesting. I thought he sang incredibly well. The visuals and his story was pretty compelling. And there's only so much you can do just being, pretty much one guy. It's not like they had like a compilation of artists like they usually do coming in and, playing each other's songs and hanging out with each other. It was just him. And for me,
and they made him throw his own money in there too.
Yep.
It's like $7 million.
Yeah.
He had to throw in.
And as like for me, it's like I forgot how many great The Weeknd songs there were.
Right?
Until he just like
Oh,
did
yeah.
like one after another. I'm like, oh man, I forgot about this one. This is an absolute banger.
Yes.
But yeah, I've seen a lot of hate too, and I don't get it. I
Yeah.
don't get it at all.
I wanted to just throw that out to you guys because I'm transitioning to the sports conversation. Travis, as a Rockies fan,
Don't.
what the fuck?
Let's just say I am least embarrassed at this moment to be a Jets fan than I am a Rockies fan. And I have not been able to say that in a really long time. I will gladly put my Jet stuff on and go outside.
Sad.
And I have to
oh, wow.
apologize to when I go to work. DU's been picking up, so I've been with altitude, and I just apologize that I'm wearing my Rockies mask every time I go. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have another mask.
Oh man, Scott, do you have a baseball team or no?
Yeah,
yeah,
Red
he's
Sox. I'm a Sox fan. I can't help it.
It's okay.
I always wanted to be like a little contrarian when I was a kid. And so I would never be a fan of the local team, so like I'm in Kansas. Everyone here is Chiefs fans, Royals fans, I'm Kansas City all the way for people here. And like growing up, I don't know why. I was just like a weird little kid and didn't want to like the same thing like everyone else in my class did. And so I just kind of latched on to the teams that people close to me were fans of. That's why I'm a 49ers fan. They've been my team my whole life. My dad's was a huge 49ers fan, so that's why I latched onto that. And same with Red Sox. I just remember my whole life just being a Red Sox fan.
Yeah. How did you become a Jets fan, Travis?
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I've got pictures of me at like 4 or 5 years old wearing like a Vinny Testaverde and Wayne Corbett jersey. So
okay,
dude, Wayne Corbett was the man.
That dude was from Hofstra, baby. Let's go.
Yep, I know, dude. I know his whole life story. I think actually Scott has the same birthday as him too. I mean, that's how much of a Wayne Corbett fan I am.
I know my sister shares a birthday with Jerry Rice.
Oh, there you go.
I share a birthday with Troy Aikman and Ken Griffey Jr. So
I share a birthday with Scott Stapp. That is true. That is a true story.
I'll just stand here with my arms wide open. Or no, Go On Marlon's Play, the best song he ever wrote. Come on, double play. Have you ever heard that?
What is that? I've never heard that.
He did a song for the Miami Marlins. That was
what?
Like 1 ball, 2 ball, 3. Like it's like a bunch of just baseball cliches thrown together.
No.
And it's like, come on, Marlins, play. And it's just so bad. It is. I'll
That's amazing.
I'll send it to you guys in the group chat on Facebook here after we're done with this. But it is a nightmare. If I can find a version of it that I can download or rip, I will put it right here in the podcast, because it's rough. But for you, I'm a Jays fan. Like growing up in Colorado, I became a Jays fan in the early 90s when they were good. And my grandfather's from the Bronx, like grew up going to Yankee Stadium. And when I told him, and Scott, you'll enjoy this story, when I told him I was a Jays fan, he tried to write me out of the will. My grandmother, who was from Brooklyn, who lost a baseball team, told him that it was ridiculous. And she finished it with, at least he's not a Red Sox fan. So I was back in the family will after.
So was there any like anyone clinging to the Dodgers then?
No.
Okay.
She was never a sports, like a huge sports fan. That was my grandfather. And what's funny is when they moved here in like the mid 50s. Just a little bit after my dad was born. My dad's the middle of 9 kids. So like you imagine that household being a bit nuts. But in 60, we got the Denver Broncos here. I'm a lifelong diehard Broncos fan. My family had season tickets from 1962 to 2009. I love the Broncos. I will always root for the Broncos, but I've always had an NFC team. I was a Cowboys fan for a minute because of the Troy Aikman connection. And then I actually, for some reason, I really attached to Warwick Dunn when he was at Florida State. So I was a Bucks fan for like 10 years.
Especially that era where they had John Lynch and Mike Allstott on those teams too.
Yeah, dude. Bert Emanuel. You had Trent Dilfer, who is officially the worst quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. It's a tie between him and Brad Johnson, in my opinion, because those were two Super Bowls that were won completely by defenses.
Yeah.
I will admit Super Bowl 50 was won by defense. Because Noodle Arm Manning was the quarterback at the time for the Broncos, and I will wholeheartedly admit that Carolina should have won that Super Bowl with the lights out, but Von Miller decided to ruin Cam Newton's career, and we have seen where it's gone since then.
Yep.
What do you think about all that talk about Von Miller maybe going to the Niners? Huh?
I've heard a lot of different things. They just released AJ Boye today. They got a clear cap. That's the big part. They have like 3 players on that defense that are eating up all of their cap space. It was Boye, Von Miller, and Jarrell Casey. So Casey's probably the next victim. I will say this. I would love Von to stay for nostalgia reasons, but if it means we can get pay Shelby Harris and pay Justin Simmons,
they're all due.
Go get him out of here. I love him to death. 58 for life, man. Club 58 is great, but you gotta make decisions that improve your whole team. And if you're losing that much money in a deal, you gotta find a way to get him out or get a pay cut. Who would we get from the Niners? Do not say Jimmy G, because I don't want Jimmy G. You can keep him.
That's what we have to offer. I don't want him either.
He's beautiful. I don't. I'm in the minority in this, and I will be in the minority in this forever. I don't want Deshaun Watson at the cost of what it takes.
I don't either. And that's that's not a popular thing to say as a Jets fan. But I don't want Deshaun Watson.
It
would be awesome. It would be awesome, but they want too much. And I feel like the Jets need a total rebuild, not a win now, because we always try to do that. It never works.
And the Niners are on that short list too, aren't they, Scott?
Yeah, but I think the speculation, at least, is that a package for Deshaun Watson would have to include Nick Bosa, which I'm not really on board with that. And I also read today that like Houston is probably not even going to deal him. They've been like shuffling around and like going back on what they said they would be doing, and they're like, we're just going to keep tanking the franchise.
I was listening to Brandon Perna on That's Good Sports. If you guys have ever watched him on YouTube, sometimes I feel like he's just a cracked out Adam Caton Holland. And some days, like, I really like his takes, and some days I just can't watch him. I love him. He's great. If he ever wants to be a guest on the podcast, it'd be awesome. I think he's fantastic. But he made a point that it sounds like Houston's not trading JJ Watt and not trading Deshaun Watson. They're going to keep all the pieces that don't want to stay there and get rid of everything else. Yep. And it sounds like it's going to be a dumpster fire for a few years. I'm super glad that Denver lost out on the Matt Stafford deal. I think LA won that trade based on the fact, or not LA, Detroit won that trade based on the fact that they essentially got a bunch of futures and Jared Goff, who didn't even want to be in LA, for an opportunity to potentially rebuild a franchise that has never really been anything, unfortunately, since the 40s.
My best friend is a really big Lions fan, and so I watch a lot of Lions games over the last 20 years. And I think that both of them won the trade, LA and Detroit, but I got to give it to Detroit. They got 2 first rounders, a starting QB who was just in the playoffs. I think he's been in the playoffs every year, hasn't he?
He's been to a fucking Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
He's been to a Super Bowl. Even he was like a touchdown away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If they could do anything.
Right.
But he's not a big Goff fan, but I was like, man, that was a steal of a deal. 2 first rounders and Jared Goff. Come on.
Yeah. And if I'm the Niners, the last thing I want to do is touch the defense. That's your heart and soul right now.
We're gonna snake them all. We got Big Dollar Sala over there in New York.
Yeah, dude, I think that's the best coach signing in the last few years. Like Kevin Stefanski blew me away with what he's done in Cleveland, but I think Robert Saleh could actually right the ship, even if you stay with Darnold. Right the ship.
I'm so excited. He was my number 2 choice. I wanted Patty Fitzgerald from Northern.
Yeah.
first and foremost. But then they were like, he didn't seem like he was going anywhere. So then it was like all in on Salah, and they got him. I was so happy.
Well, I just with San Francisco, such a I'm sorry I keep saying this, Scott, but like I've never seen a team like Denver got bit by the injury bug. You guys got infested with the injury bug this year.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think that team has so much potential, but it feels like all of your key pieces are made of glass.
Yep, it sure does.
The Meadowlands got him.
And I honestly think, like, I know it's like a big, it's kind of like the train to jump on, but like people want to get rid of Jimmy G because I think he is not the real deal. I really don't. Like, I think the year that, we played Kansas City in the Super Bowl was easily his best year, and he had a hell of a lot of help that year too. I don't think there's a chance of repeating. I don't really know where to go from the quarterback position.
Don't you guys dare give him back to New England.
Yeah, I
give that back.
Yeah, I'll give him back to Bill Belichick.
No,
I don't know what we'd get, but
I think the situation in New England is they're going to draft one of the 5 child superstar quarterbacks that are coming.
I don't think they're
going
to have a chance, man. They're picking too far back.
Aren't they like 15?
There's only like 4 of them.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to go that quickly because Denver's not going to take one. Denver, no, they're taking a cornerback. They're going to probably take Fairley or Patrick Surtain. I will say this, and this is on this podcast right now. Drew Lock will be the starting quarterback in Denver next year.
Oh, he will. Just like I told you on your podcast a couple years ago that I was like, it's going to be Simeon when everybody was.
Oh yeah, dude. But that's the thing. Denver will not do too much different. The team will look generally the same.
Yep.
The difference is there will be an improved middle linebacker, an improved game-changing cornerback. That's who I think they're going to go for in the draft. And they're going to reevaluate right tackle if Juwan James decides not to play again next year, and right guard, because they have a center, they have a left tackle, they have a left guard. They're set on the left side of the line. They have a tight end, they have 2 wide receivers, they have a decent running back core, a mediocre quarterback who could potentially be great. If he doesn't show improvement this year, you move on. If he doesn't show improvement this year, the franchise moves on from Fangio, Shermer, and Locke, and that is it. The bigger problem with Denver right now is not on the field. It's in the owner's box. That's the problem with the Broncos. They don't have established ownership, which has created the fucking chaos that is right now. So for Elway to essentially fire and promote himself and then bring in an actual GM is a position of showing that they want to make a change. And I think that's the most important thing. It's like what the Blue Jays are doing right now. The Blue Jays picked up George Springer. They went and got Kirby Yates.
Yeah.
They went last year, picked up Hyunjin Ryu. They added Robbie Ray at the trade deadline last year. Like you're going in to try and do something positive this year in what I'm considering a slightly down year in the AL East. Like I think the Yankees are due for a crushing fall off this year. I'll be surprised to see if they maintain the pace that they had last year. Tampa is a weird situation. Boston is an enigma. I can't quite figure out what the Red Sox are. And then everybody knows that Baltimore is the Detroit Lions of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they're going to be in the dumpster the entire time next year.
Yeah,
there's no story around that for them.
Yeah, I want to see. I would love to see Toronto do more, but I mean, the AL is such a weird conundrum of teams anyway. I mean, at least in the NL, we know I feel like people are
sleeping on Toronto for next year. Like that's not something you hear a lot about, but then you look at the pieces they have in place, especially with like the young guys that aren't like really talked about yet, like Bo Bichette. Like they've got some young people there that are ready to do some work, but I don't feel like they get a lot of attention compared to like, the Yankees. And Toronto's going to be a little scary this year. I really feel like that. And it's been a while since I felt that way too.
I agree. Same here. And I think it's going to be dependent on Biggio, Guerrero, and Bichette adding the pieces they have with Hernandez, and now adding Springer to that outfield. You give Danny Jensen a full year behind the plate. They spent a lot of time in doing exactly the opposite of what the Rockies are doing. In the sense of like building around their young core by adding pieces that have been there. You throw in a Hyun-Jin Ryu, you throw in a Ross Stripling, which was a nice pickup, a really quiet deadline pickup. You add another lefty like Robbie Ray. They were in the hunt for Trevor Bauer. They were in the hunt for a lot of key free agents. Granted, almost none of them signed. I mean, Springer's a huge ad because that's a great bat to put in the middle of that lineup. But if you get another year like Bichette had last year, another year like Teoscar had at the plate and defensively,
dude, no one talks about Teoscar Hernandez. He crushed it last year. He had a great year.
He earned the arbitration
for being a nobody that no one talks about, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Scott's awesome internet is pulling through here.
Yeah, you're a little.
Oh no!
Like Scott Spriggs's bandwidth is low. Of course,
you're matrixing a little bit, but that's okay. We'll fix it in post. At least you're recording your own audio.
My audio recording.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But
tell
Travis,
Stephanie to quit listening to music.
We need every single gigabit we can get.
Yeah. Stephanie, stop it.
But Travis, I'm curious what you think, since we kind of graced over the Nolan deal. I think the part more people are pissed off is that they sent $50 million along with it, and essentially got one top 20 prospect and 3 guys who potentially could play baseball in the major league level. Like a lot of What are you expecting out of this year, and how long do you think we keep Trevor Story?
Yeah, man. It was the Friday night heist. You know, that's what it's going to go down as. St. Louis stole Nolan and $50 million from the Rockies overnight. And it was crazy. I remember we were actually, Averse had a show that night, and it was like 5 minutes before we went on stage, the news broke. So that put me in a great mood, you know.
Sure, you played angry.
Oh, I was just like, what? No. And then I was like, who did they get? And Brandon looked it up, and it was just like, Brandon had originally thought that they were going to get, it was going to be 3 of their top 10 prospects that they had.
Yeah.
But it was not that.
No, it was one potential top 15 who had 14 appearances last year.
Yep.
And is a potential middle reliever. Like, I like Austin Gomber. I think it's good that they're adding a left-handed arm, but the rest of them are like AA or not even like, I think Montero had a cup of coffee in the majors for like 2 or 3 games, but like it's essentially, they essentially gave Nolan the opportunity to go try and win with Paul Goldschmidt. And he now has 2 years to opt out in St. Louis. So this is a risk play for St. Louis as well, because they could essentially have one or 2 years with Nolan if he doesn't play out his contract there.
Yeah. And
I was gonna say, doesn't he have an opt out after like every single year?
He has an opt out after this year and next year. So that was what the $50 million was for. And it's so the $50 million is deferred. So he gets to Bobby Bonilla that money after his career is over.
But yeah, oh geez, they're dumpster fire right now. It's so bad. But what happens as far as Trevor Story goes, you know, I don't think he's going to be around very much longer. I think
he's a free agent after this year.
He's a free agent. I think he's got a bad taste in his mouth because of what just unfolded with Arenado. And I don't know what the Rockies are doing. Like, we were supposed to be kind of hitting our stride right about now. You know, if you remember in like 2017, we had our super rookie pitchers. You know, Freeland was killing it. I think they just brought up Senzatella, and Marquez was just, you know, and they were pitching out of their minds. I think we had like a team ERA of like, even with the Coors factor in there, I think it was like right around like 2.5 or 3, somewhere around there.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, this is going to be great. And then, you know, they made a little bit of bad bullpen decisions. with McGee, Shaw, and Davis.
And then Desmond.
Happens. Yeah, and then the Desmond deal. But besides that, the bullpen is going to be the bullpen with the Rockies. If you look at the road splits, they were like awful, so I can't complain too much. But it was just, I thought brighter days were ahead, and I knew Nolan wasn't happy last year, so like we were going to part with him. It was inevitable. Now, did I foresee that deal coming? Absolutely not. I think they could have even waited it out a little bit. I know it was a salary dump, but it's like, dude, that was like, he's like top 5.
Pretty expensive salary dump, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a salary
expensive.
dump plus 50 million.
Right.
Like you saved
Right.
what, like 145 million, and you're still like you're now the 19th,
dude,
payroll in all of baseball. Great. That's awesome. But guess what? You suck now.
I'm not a GM, but I'm pretty sure I could have done a deal that I didn't have to pay $50 to lose one of the best players in baseball.
Yeah. and if you think about it, like even the Red Sox didn't get fleeced for Mookie Betts. Like you guys got great pieces out of that deal.
Yeah, we did. And even then I'm still like a little bit sour about it. But yeah, we definitely didn't pay a huge amount of our salary cap to give him to someone.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey, Dodgers,
on.
Here's Mookie Betts and $50 million. Here you go.
Well, and that's the other thing is every other team in the division seems to be getting better every year, and the Rockies are just like, we had an 8-time Gold Glover. Like,
I just don't
we
get
had
it.
the best, right infield in all of baseball, or left infield in all of baseball.
I mean, it was looking up. I mean, I ran into you a couple times at the Rockies games over the last few years, and I think one of them was that last playoff game in 2000. Was it 18 or?
Yeah,
19?
when we finished off the sweep, getting swept by the Brewers after that crazy game against the Cubs. Yeah, when it was like 14 degrees outside.
Yeah.
In March
but it was still like
October.
I was like, yeah, I was still pretty optimistic. I'm like, it's all right, they're gonna get better from here. A few down years, but I think they're gonna be pretty bad here for the next at least 5 years minimum.
Yeah,
I'll be curious.
I'll be curious to see if any of the draft picks that they've made, like I want to see Kaufman come up and pitch this in the next couple of years. I think Brandon Rogers is bust.
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll, I don't think Story's going to be here. So maybe you move him back to short and see what happens.
See what happens.
Find his grooves again. He's a natural shortstop.
Hopefully they find some pitching. Like that's going to be the big thing. The great thing about like Toronto, Boston, LA, Houston, Atlanta, all these teams. What is the one thing that they have over a majority of teams in baseball right now, even though they're not, considered, some of them not considered elite teams anymore, is pitching.
Yeah.
Like I cannot wait to see what this bullpen looks like for Toronto, anchored by Kirby Yates. I cannot wait to see what this rotation looks like now when you throw in a Robbie Ray for a full season with Hingen and, Thornton coming off of a full year. You have, Chase Anderson, who's still a solid arm at the 4 or 5 slot. Like you have a power rotation in there that could do damage in a division like the AL East. I mean, if Boston can keep their pitchers healthy, that would make a huge difference.
Getting Chris Sale back from the TJ and then Eduardo Rodriguez coming back full force. Like, you should have a pretty good rotation.
And then, of course, Boston, or not Boston, LA just gets better because they're like, we'll throw a $40 million at, or $404 million at Trevor Bauer. He's making more than 4 entire rotations in 1 year.
Yeah.
You
know what, Mike? I think the Rockies are just admitting defeat to the Dodgers.
They just see what the Dodgers are doing. And
I think so. I think they're just like, it's pointless. But what they fail to realize is it's baseball, and the Dodgers are going to be able to do this for a millennia if they want to.
Until a salary cap is instilled in baseball, this is just how it's going to be, guys. I'm sorry, but Rogers invested a lot of money into the Blue Jays because they have young talent. They have a chance, but I went through a 21-year playoff drought where the Blue Jays were just mediocre to good, where 81 wins was enough. They didn't waste because Roy Halladay did go and win a World Series with the Phillies, and I will forever hate the Phillies, but I am glad that Roy got that with them. May he rest in peace. And that's the most important thing to me, is like he got one, and that was huge. As a lifelong Blue Jays fan, to see Roy Halladay win in another jersey killed me, but at the same time, hell yeah, dude, like awesome. And that's one of those things. And like for me, I enjoy when my franchises spend money to be good. When the Broncos were pushing for a Super Bowl, they went out and got DeMarcus Ware. They went out and got TJ Ward. They went out and got Aqib Talib. Like they went and got pieces that helped them get better. You got Peyton Manning. Like you did the things you needed to do. The Avalanche right now, man, like went out and traded Zadorov, picked up Devon Taves, got Brandon Saad, did all the things you need to do to fix the small things that were broken on this roster, and drafted really well. That's the issue the Broncos have had too, is they've had like 4 or 5 hits when you've drafted 20 players in a stretch of periods. Cortland Sutton hit. Garrett Bowles was a miss, now a hit. Like
hopefully it wasn't just a weird season for you guys.
I think
this is his anomaly season.
I think Munchak got to him and had really worked with him. I think Dalton Reisner is a huge reason why as well. Reisner being a stud guard changed the way that Garrett Bowles got to play. I think that's a big part of it too. But like you wasted so much draft capital on some mistakes, and there's mistakes in there. And the funny thing is, I can't even think of some of the names on that list because they were that bad. Paxton Lynch comes to mind, and we don't even want to talk about the white sand falling up from the sky. That should have been a sign.
I told you on your show.
Yeah, he was going to be
years ago that he was a total bust.
And I think I agreed with you on that front.
Yeah, you did. No, you did, which was weird because there's not many Denver fans at that time who thought that.
Yeah, but it's because Elway hit on Manning. Like, no, dude, a blind guy could have hit on Manning. I'm just gonna say. But shit, man, I don't know. I'm curious to see where all these teams land in the next few years, just because the Rockies are in a state of chaos. I have openly admitted it, and I am in the boycott Colorado Rockies fandom right now.
I know, but I just it's been COVID, so it's like I want to go to a baseball game so bad, like I don't even care.
Yeah, I understand that feeling, but like at the same time, I just don't want to give them any more money than they're already going to be making from everybody who moved here from Chicago to go see the 6 games against the Cubs. That's the worst. Yeah, the worst stretch of baseball ever is watching the Cubs play here.
Oh, but it's
Scott, that look on your face is perfect.
Oh, but
I left right before the big
Cubs wave
influx. Yeah.
Yeah, because you left in 2013, right?
Yep.
Yeah, everybody started moving here in 2014, and it's been an adventure. Being from here, it's weird. Like I don't hate it as much as most natives do, just because it's inevitable. It's Colorado. People were going to want to come here once it became not a secret anymore.
Yeah.
Like you knew people were going to start venturing here, but at the same time, traffic sucks a little bit every now and then, but at the same time, like I still love it here. I still am proud to be here. I'm proud to be from here. And,
I grew up, bad place. There's a lot to do.
Yeah. I grew up in inner city Denver. Like I'm from the heart of Denver. So like I feel a little bit more passionate about it than like somebody from Highlands Ranch or like
Westminster.
Yeah. all these newfangled places that have just shown up. Fucking Roxborough.
Roxborough. That place is nice though.
That's another thing too, Travis, we can kind of talk about is I'm kind of curious to see when all of this kind of clears up as restrictions start to loosen as of Friday.
Yeah, we're going back to orange, bro. Whatever that means.
Yellow, bro.
Oh, we're going to yellow?
We're leaving orange. We're going to yellow. So it's red, orange, yellow, life.
No, it's purple. They remember they added purple because they were too afraid to shut down again. So they're like, we're gonna do it 2 3/4. We're at purple now.
Oh my god, dude.
When I'll cut this out. I had some inside info about all of this. I'm going to cut this part out of the podcast as well. I have to say that so I remember to actually make a cut.
You say that sometimes and then you don't cut it. I've seen a lot
but this
of
one I kind of have to. Yeah, I do that a lot because I
Yeah.
usually do try to cut it out. A buddy of mine on the baseball team that I call games for works for the Denver Health Department.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that they fought tooth and nail not to shut back down again.
Oh, yeah.
We were in red for 2.5 months before we shut down again.
Oh,
Like they were literally well above the threshold that was set by the government. And that's why Polis put in the curfews. He put in like all the limitations he could desperately put in to keep things open because he didn't want to shut down the economy again. Like he didn't want to. He was very adamant about. That's why they put in the 5-star program and like put all these loopholes in to try and like be able to allow for businesses to keep staying open and keep running. But people are so quick to be like, "Urgh!" And he was like, dude, I did everything I could. You guys just wouldn't listen to me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like we're now back in a position where it's a little bit better. Things are a little more relaxed. But to kind of go back to that, now that we're hitting a new stage, how do you think that's going to help venues as they start to open back up? I know Grizzly Rose did something really stupid and they're going to be shut down for a little while, but like,
yeah, that was crazy.
But places like Lost Lake have been putting on shows. Larimer Lounge has been putting on shows. Herman's is back to doing shows again at Cheers. All of our local haunts are back. How do you think that's going to kind of affect the Denver music scene for 2021?
Yeah. Well, I like it because everybody's hurting really bad. There's a lot of career musicians in Colorado.
Yep.
I'm not that. I have, a day job that I work, a few jobs actually, plus all the music stuff. So yeah, I think it's good. I've been talking to a lot of people, and there's a lot of people stepping up and getting vaccinated, and hopefully that continues because the sooner we can get back to normal, the sooner everybody can have lives again. And we have to work together to do it. We're all in the same boat. So
yeah.
Shows are important. I like the way there has been some good things that have came out of this though, because like a lot of places are live streaming shows now. And even they're even figuring out now how to do like pay-per-view streams, like where you pay to get into the stream. And I think that's like super dope. Because like as in the local scene, like everybody's like, oh, maybe, I'll come to your show. And then like they never come.
Yeah.
but maybe they'll
buy
be
100, get 10.
Maybe they'll be more inclined to watch the stream. And like that's all I can, ask for.
True. What's it been like?
I mean, I can attend shows from here. Like I've watched all the Averse shows that you streamed. Like I think it's pretty cool because otherwise I never see you guys.
Yeah, we did one at Trailside. We did an acoustic set at Trailside, and Hillary's parents who live in Toronto saw it. So like, it's cool for that. That could be something that should stick, and then we could do pay-per-views and allow for people to watch it from other places and kind of draw audiences. That might be a way to start guerrilla marketing and doing things like that.
For sure.
What's it been like in Kansas, Scott? Like, have you guys had an impact on it?
Man, it's the fucking Wild West out here. No, like everything is still running rampant. Like there are still shows, but like everything is like, it's just this very weird division. Like the state is not shutting down. Like, they've imposed some quote unquote restrictions. Like, okay, restaurants are at 75% capacity or, something like that. That's not real big restrictions, but like, there's still some shows that go on and there's a select portion of people that just don't take precautions. So like, anyone who wants to feel cautious about this can't feel comfortable going to a bar because these places that put on shows often are not doing everything they could or should be doing to keep things safe. So I've pretty much avoided it at all costs. And I'm also kind of like I'm kind of a professional pessimist about a lot of things. So like I see this the vaccine coming out, which is great. I can't get it fast enough. I literally, like, that's the other thing. Kansas has been horrible about distributing it. It's not looking like I'll even be able to get it until they're guessing midsummer. A lot of the things that they're distributing have gone bad because they're doing such a poor job at getting it to the right places. Anyway, so I see like the vaccine coming out, and that's great, and I think that's going to help a lot. But then at the same time, there's been talks today of like needing to shut down intrastate travel, particularly from Florida, because the new strain from the UK that's incredibly contagious is starting to run rampant around Florida. And they're like, well, how do we contain this? But I just think, in my pessimistic view, no one has ever acted fast enough or severe enough to cut things off. So by the time they make any decision, it's that new strain is going to be spreading through, and we're going to be in pandemic 2021.
Well,
that's what I think is going to happen.
The positive of this, from the studies that I've read, because I have too much time on my hands, I could be practicing better base instead of reading COVID research. The new strands are extremely more virulent, but extremely less lethal. So it's like 70% more contagious, but like 70% less lethal. So like you'll get it, but you won't die. It'll still
but also
suck.
unaffected by the same vaccine. Like they're still
They're unsure.
It's different proteins. It's gonna be kind of like a flu, where they've got to come up with different vaccines for different,
right,
educated guesses at what's going to be the most infectious for the time, and they're going to have different vaccines to help you make different proteins.
Oh yeah, it'll be like the flu shot every year, dude.
Yeah,
this one's going to be around
I just
forever.
don't see 2021 being like the year it all goes back to normal.
No, and if anybody who says that is completely fucking bonkers and out of their mind. I mean, I'm dying to go back to the office. I love my job. I love working. I love the fact that I have a job. I hate the fact that I work from home. I hate that I am in the space that I do my fun stuff. That is also the space where I do my work stuff. And
you just got to transition, man. I was like that too, but I got a 2-year jump on this pandemic doing it, and it was rough at first, but you kind of get used to it,
right? And I'm okay with a hybrid model. The problem is like the industry that I work in, it's easier to do communications and trainings face to face than it is over a Zoom, over a Teams meeting, or through screen sharing. It's significantly easier to do when you can be present with the person you're training or teaching them how to do things. And then also with communications, it's a lot easier because not every team communicates directly to each other through Teams. Like so I work for a major cable conglomerate in their traffic department. So I make commercials functionally run on the air. That's my job. And I work in California, but I'm also in Atlanta and Sarasota, but we're based out of Denver. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So I work for Comcast, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I am based in Denver, but the regions that I work for are Atlanta, Sarasota, Florida, and California, Northern California regions. Okay. But our company runs everything from Boston to Washington State and south. Like that's pretty much how it runs for Comcast. But like the communications we have, it's significantly easier to have those conversations face to face with the people on my team versus trying to do it over a Teams call, because like it can be misconstrued, or we can't always talk because something's going on. My girlfriend works from home right now as well, so like sometimes we'll have cross calls and we can't always leave the room to have those conversations because we need access to all of our information. So sometimes it's just adjusting and refining it and making it work. If I had a house where I had an office and like a play space, that would be totally different, and I would be fine because I can delineate and separate. I think that's the big part. Like my tower and my PlayStation are right here. All of my favorite distractions are right here. My Switch is behind the monitor right here. Like, all that shit is just hard to get away from and then still want to work every day. So
Yeah, it's a little bit of a transition, but you know, my office is right behind that flag there on
Right.
the other side of my basement.
And looks like Scott's sitting in his office.
He is.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is where I be every day.
Yep.
Um,
That's
it
Naughty Dog
definitely
Studios, the new one.
it definitely is like it's harder to. I find it harder to get things done. I find it harder to get myself like in a flow state, especially when you're trying to like do a creative task.
Yeah.
Like having different distractions and like, you know, I'm home with like the animals and stuff. You know, we've got a dog and a cat that are very needy. um
I don't
and
even
then, you know,
want to hear.
I know, right?
Yeah, your dogs are needy,
Um,
Travis. I know the truth.
My dogs are fine.
He's got a what do you call it? A human. A
Oh yeah,
baby
you have a
human.
human and another
There's
one on
a-
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a human that's requires a lot of it, attention.
Yeah. I mean,
And
this
he knows how to do stuff now, like throw things
Oh.
at your face.
And open
Ugh.
doors.
Yes.
yeah, so this happened like I don't know, like 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, where Travis sent me a new idea to like you know, where he's just like, yeah, mess around with this new thing. And he's like, yeah, let's put a riff on it. Right. You know, I've got these kind of root notes in mind, write a riff. And I started like rolling with it. And I had my guitar out and it was plugged in. And I was like getting somewhere. I programmed some drums. We had a groove going, I had the bass laid down, and I was starting to get some cool chords. And then my cat starts being incredibly annoying and won't be quiet until I take off my headphones, go see what she wants. She, you know, wants her food, wants to go outside, whatever. I don't remember, but I remember we put her outside to get clear of distraction. So I like pick her up to put her outside, and she's a very non-touchy-feely cat, so we don't pick her up frequently to avoid certain types of situations with her. And I can't remember something. There was like something stuck in front of the door, and I like slipped opening the front door, and she was in my hands, and she freaked out, and then she clawed like my stomach trying to like prevent herself from falling. And it was like a whole thing, and it got me like so frustrated. By the time I came and sat down, I was like, I don't even remember like what I was doing. I don't remember what I was trying to create. I don't remember what I had in my head. I don't remember the groove. I don't remember the chords. And I'm just like so frustrated right now. I can't even bother to like the last thing my mind wants to do is sit down and try to like make something that like I feel good about, you know?
Yeah.
Those are the things that just happen more frequently. Like it's always a little thing that's not that big of a deal, but you're in your house where a little thing will come and it'll throw you off of whatever you're trying to get done. And especially if it's a creative task, you sit down and do it and you're like, man, I can't even fucking do this anymore. I totally lost it. I lost my mojo. It's gone.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
know how
what
it goes.
happened.
Yeah, which I do have some chords, but like it was the thing, like I had like a hook in my head. I was like, I've got to lay this melody down before I forget. I'm just gonna go put my cat outside real quick. And then this whole thing happened. And I like, you know, have like these scratches across my stomach. I got to like Neosporin on it and put a bandage on it. By the time I sit back down, I'm like, I don't remember shit about fuck.
Yeah, you made me dig in, and I was like, oh well, since he hasn't got back to me, I'll just try to make a part. That was a horrible idea. It was bad. I think I already deleted it.
Man.
It was really bad. Actually, you are one of the only people to hear a demo off of the new Vela stuff.
Yeah, I always
Because
feel
we had a
special.
little freak out incident because we've already been not popped, but like
Yeah.
the internet decided to hold our feet to the fire over something we had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah, I didn't even want to bring that up, and we can bring it up next time. I'm gonna have you guys back. I know, Travis, you're on a time crunch, so
We got we can do some final thoughts here or whatever.
yeah. So this is the part of the show where I give you guys the opportunity to promote whatever the hell you want, anything you want, anything at all. It doesn't matter to me. But right now, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
What do
Take
you got,
it away,
Scott?
Travis.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, our cover's already out. So if you haven't checked that out yet, you can check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. We have a lyric video that is now on YouTube. It is Without Me by Halsey, Project Vela cover. And yeah, hope you guys like it.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to plug, but just again, this is something that we talk about every couple months. It seems we're going to try to try to get better at making content. So make sure to try to follow us on YouTube. It's where we put a lot of our updates. Also Facebook and Instagram to keep up with us. Project Vela official, I think, is for pretty much all our socials and things like that. Yeah, I think I don't know, man. We don't have shit. just follow us that we put up updates. Check out our music. We're starting to throw up some of those cool little Spotify Canvas things. We're gonna have one for Without Me that's up there, and then I put one up for Watch You Leave because we have the music video for that one.
Oh, nice.
So I did a little snippet from that, threw that up on a Spotify Canvas. Looks kind of cool on a phone, watch a little video while you're listening to music. So we're going to be putting those up. I want to start making some more content for YouTube. If anyone, I want to figure out how we can put this podcast on our YouTube channel as well. Somehow
I can send you the direct link.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to like circle back to yours. I was like looking up how to do it.
So
like as a host, not like as like, I don't want to actually put the video on our channel, but like host your channel on ours somehow.
So the way that would work, if I remember correctly, is you can post the link in the community tab and it'll pop up in everybody who is subscribed to your feed. Right. And it'll be like, head over to this page to check out our interview on Steal a Moment. And it'll send the traffic from your page to my page. I miscommunicated that with a couple people before when I started this who are YouTubers. And I was like, can you like do that cross stream thing? Yeah. And one of them was like, you're going to lose all of your fucking views if you do that, and just give them all to me. So you're not going to get, no, I'm not going to do that. And I was like, oh shit, that's not what I meant. But yeah, if you do it through the community tab, it'll send you through to my page. That's how I figured out how to do it. If I send you the live link, as soon as I have it up, I'll send all that shit to you guys.
All right. If you end up hearing this and you're not subscribed to our YouTube, it'd be dope if you did subscribe, because I think we're creeping up on 6,000. And I was looking at some statistics the other day, which of course don't mean shit, but something interesting. Like it was like something like 87% of the people who view our channel and look at our music on our channel aren't actually subscribed. So if you enjoy content from the channel and you want notifications about it, just subscribe, hit the little bell, turn on notifications. You'll get notified when we put music out.
All of that. Yeah. Here, I'm going to go to speaker view for this so that everyone can see me. All of their shit will be in the description below right here. If you guys hit the subscribe button and the bell button for me as well, I'll make sure you guys get over to Project Vela. And if you do see this and you find a Vela video and you're getting to the Vela video from this podcast, put Steal a Moment in the comments section and let them know that you came from my show, because that would be awesome. Great way to cross promote, because I love these guys. This project has been fun for me to experience on the outside. Travis, you've been kind enough to let me listen to exactly like some demo tracks from the EP. Sorry, Scott, if you didn't know about that, now you do.
No, dude, I was pushed. I wanted a perspective on that so bad, because I was like, we've got to change the lyrics. We've got to fucking change this whole thing. I was freaking out.
Yeah. But for real, like, I vouch for these guys big time. I don't put artists on my show that I don't vouch for directly, because that would be kind of weird for me to like want to promote bands that I don't like myself. So huge shout out to both of you guys for taking some time out today. 2 hours is plenty of content. I got to figure out where I'm going to cut and what I'm going to add. Even the things I say I have to cut, still it's going to be a long one, but it's always fun to catch up with you, Travis. And it's finally nice to actually talk to you, Scott.
Yeah, dude,
we've talked
good
on
chatting.
Facebook, but you guys are welcome back anytime. Let me know when you have stuff to promote. I'll bring you back on. We'll have more conversations. We got plenty of stuff to cover still.
Yeah, dude. So like, I didn't even know you had this podcast until like a few weeks ago, probably, like, pretty recently. And I was going through and like, you had one with Noya for that European like kind of metalcore band. Like, I've been listening to them for a minute. Those dudes are fucking dope.
They rule, and they're coming back on eventually as well.
Hell yeah!
Because I want to get Ludwig and Maxon as well. Because Ludwig's like their creative genius. He's the guy that's like created almost all that stuff. Daniel's the first one to say Ludwig writes most of the drums. I just play them. So yeah, and they actually just released their first ever Swedish track.
I heard you talking about that on the podcast. It hasn't popped up on my music yet, but
yeah,
it should.
I'll shoot you a message when I'm done with this. I'll shoot you a link for that track because it's on a compilation record.
Okay.
Of a bunch of Swedish songs.
The other people, and I just listened to this one today. The dudes from Roses Unread, man. I spent like 4 days in Las Vegas with John in 2019. Fuck
yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. We became pretty fast homies. And I mean we're good buddies. We check in with each other and help each other do stuff with our bands and keep each other on track. That dude is just like one of the nicest guys, and I love their band.
Yeah,
those
dude,
they're so good.
They were so much fun to interview and to talk to. And like, I think John had the best quote of the whole thing. He's like, a lot of people probably listen to you wondering why the hell these two hicks are talking on your show.
Yeah.
But it was great. And then Travis, of course, I've had Scott, I've had Davey B, I've had Tyler Stanfield on. So, I got to keep that Denver love flowing. I'm hoping to get Jace on here soon. And Tyler.
Those guys do so much too. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
If you guys have any connections or suggestions of people I should check out, people I should interview, send them to me. I'm trying to get as many people out as I can. I just added Rivals today. They're going to be coming on. If you haven't heard their new single Strawberries, that track is fire. They did a cover of Heathens a while back. That's kind of what got them on the map. And then like they've been releasing some fire shit over the last couple of months. Dead Bundy is a pop punk band out of Cleveland. They're going to be my first repeat guest. They just hit me up yesterday and like, when are we going to be back on? So I'm going to interview them into next week. If you're into like folk style, Thea the Band is another one. That podcast drops on Friday, the 12th. They have a single coming out called The Worm. Glass Tides. Lindsay Manfredi from Cold was my first guest, and she's the fucking most badass chick I've ever met in my life. And I hope to have her back on someday as well. It's always fun to talk to great bands. It's mostly been musicians because that's my main vein, but I had Benny Fowler from the Saints on.
Oh, cool.
Which was pretty sweet. He caught Peyton Manning's last pass. And his book was amazing. I've had Ryan Harris of the Denver Broncos on.
Oh yeah, dude.
I just put an email out to Emmanuel Acho, who wrote a book. Played linebacker for I think like 7 years in the NFL. Went to Texas. Good dude. So hopefully going to get him on here as well. But it takes the connections of other people sometimes to lead me to other people. Adam Ramey of Dropout Kings has been dope and has been sending me a lot of people. If you like trap metal, if you like a vibe of new metal with that new sound of like trap drums, check them out.
I do.
They're legit.
Dude, do you like that stuff?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Have you listened to the new Scarlord? The full album just dropped.
I have not yet, but I heard it's legit.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Yeah,
Sweet.
It's nuts.
I'll have to check that out.
And then also, do you know who Jairus Johnson is?
I've heard the name, but I haven't.
He's like a TikTok boy, right? And he like
he's
all these like butt rock bands. He just did Papa Roach.
Yeah, that thing is legit.
And just today,
Horizon too.
He's going to, yeah. So today,
I heard a little bit of it.
He put up. He's like, yeah, I remixed. What was it? What's their fucking big song from Sempiternal?
Shadow Moses.
Can You Feel My Heart? The other big song from Sempiternal. And then like I saw that this morning, and then like the last TikTok I watched like right before this podcast was Ollie Sykes doing a duet with this dude's remix, being like, brother, check your inbox. We're doing this. I'm like, oh my God.
So
that is so dope. But he just has an album that dropped too, Jairus Johnson.
I gotta get on TikTok. Like more than I actually
I know,
like,
dude.
generate content.
I don't even have it. I barely have it installed. My
it's
wife.
It's the most addicting thing. It really is.
It's terrible. I've been working on my algorithm to stop it not being like just.
See, that's why I just don't use it. I'm just so bad at social media, but I'm like, I got other shit to do. Like, I can't be watching other people make content, and then I'm just sitting here like, still not making content, but at least.
Yeah, but I feel like it like helps keep your finger on the pulse of like what is happening with I don't know, like the general public, you know,
Yes.
which I think is important. And that's the excuse I tell myself when I've just spent, you know, an hour and a half scrolling through TikTok and I'm like, oh, fuck,
Oh, no,
where did
what
that
have
hour and a half just go?
What have
Yeah.
I done?
I'm like, I'm doing my social research. It's my job.
Yeah, it's my job. All right, gents. Well, I
Anyway.
know Travis has to go pretend to play hockey for a little while.
Yeah.
and-
It's my only workout. My only the only cardio I do.
Nice, guys. Well, Scott, Travis, thank you guys so much for joining me. Like
Yeah,
I
dude,
said,
thanks for
welcome
having
back
us.
anytime. You guys, I'll let you know as soon as it's ready to come up. Send you all the information. We'll be
All
good to
right.
go.
Sounds good.
Cool. Stay
Thanks,
safe, man.
Cool.
Take
You guys
care.
as well. Take care. Later.
It almost feels like someone else is living my life. 'Cause it almost feels like someone else